Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, it's time for a whole lot of sealant and some rocks. After getting a couple of coats of polyurethane on the pot of the Bonsai pot fish tank, now is the really fun part of this project for me. I'm ready to secure the 1/2 inch plexiglass, but before I do that, I have to be very careful not to scratch this side of the surface for sure, and inside here, and this side will be touched by rocks. In already doing a little fiddling around before I turn the camera on, you know, there's a little bumps and bruises on top here and a couple bumps and bruises here, so I might have to do a little sanding, and I'll put some poly at the very end of the project. But what I'm trying to see here is what's going to happen with the rocks that I'm choosing. And I have a gap in here that I can lean rocks against. And I have a light colored rock in here that I can lean rocks against. And I've started doing the design process. And I found this rock that comes right to the tip of the plexiglass. So something like this. I think I have this one over here. So it provides a wall over here. Right there. There's that wall on that side. And this is kind of a cap. But I needed this little rock here to hold it up for the meantime. And when I add a couple elements of rocks, I can have a cliff. You know, if any rain was to come on here, rain would fall into the river here. You got this plateau. And got a little gap in there. There'll be gaps in there. This will all be bonsai soil. We'll perch it up, and might need even a little bit of muck and sphagnum moss down here by the cracks at first to keep everything in place. So something generally like this on this side, and that's what happens a lot in design. These rocks are not glued into place yet, so they're going to be just a little bit sensitive to movement. So then on this side, got this really cool rock. And I'm trying to keep the angles the same, although I suppose they might come in this way. But bonsai soil will be here, we'll stack it up high here. We still need walls, of course, on this side, but those are less important because it's not from the front, although from the side I want it to look as pretty as well. I like these 3 for the front, these 3 for this front. The top and sides will be later, so we have to put those 6 in place. We can't put those in place until we put the glass in place. So now I have to take the protective layer off of here on both sides, and then I have to seal it into the pot, and it is permanent from this point forward. So I have to look at that carefully and make sure it's where it's supposed to be and how it's supposed to fit before we do anything that we can't take back. So there's our super clean fish tank glass. We're going to clean this is the real clean edge that came polished from the factory. This is where I cut it to the right size. So that goes down in here. It is down there. The plexiglass is in place. So I'm going to seal the bottom of the plexiglass. Goes onto some wood and some pond liner. And I'm going to bring the sealant up to here, to this point right here, and stop. This one's not touching here, but I will put sealant there to make at least its first connection. I don't want any of the sealant on the glass where we can see it through the fish tank. I have the front rock cliff sections done. I got the quick set cement that's holding them into place real nice and firmly. And remember, that's mainly holding the shape of the bonsai pot for the bonsai soil to be in here. So this will be a very tricky situation. I'm going to remove this rock for now because it's just going to fall off anyway. So my main goal for today is to secure this piece of pond liner where it needs to go. So we need it to be as close to the edge of here as possible, and maybe even flipped up just a little bit on the glass. And then we can use fish tank sealer to seal that in place. We don't want to get too high up here because then we're going to be in the view of the viewers here. So we want the silicone to kind of stop up in this range right up in here. But there could be some rocks right in here that just come up to the edge so people see a little rock. So for instance, if this decorative rock had to happen to be right there, people are going to look in and see this rock right here. So of course, the more rocks and stuff we add, the more weight there is to this entire contraption, which is getting heavier by the operation. So I just need this pond liner to wrap around this side ever so carefully over the top, so it doesn't make any more bulges down at the bottom. And I could staple this into place, and then I will use Flex Seal like I did right here. This Flex Seal, you can't even see the Flex Seal. It almost looks like it's the pond liner now because I put several layers on here. And so I can staple this on 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe staples, and then Flex Seal it. Or even seal it with fish tank sealant. That'll work as well, probably better. So we don't have any moisture that seeps into the wood. The other part about this is that if this was just in here with a rock or something, or we put bonsai soil in here, that would just hold it in there permanently anyway. But because this is a fish tank that's going to hold water, I want it to be in there pretty securely. So this looks like to be a pretty good spot where I'm at the edge of the fish tank here, right on this side. And this will be, again, filled with some silicone. Although I do want this to be a little higher over here. Just a little bit of a lip. And we can cut it to shape as we need to. There, that's up a little bit. So we have a little bit of a ledge over here. That makes it fit a little bit more crooked over here. And now this provides a little bit of a ledge over here too, because we don't have a back right here right now. So this is the edge of the fish tank, which looks a little sloppy right there. But we'll have a wall that comes up here, and you see the fish tank liner goes almost to the height of the water level anyway. And then wherever this fish tank liner stops right here, we'll silicone it to it anyway. And the plan is to have a little bit more of a glass back here again, so we can see right through the fish tank, through this river or this channel here, resembling again kind of like the Cascade River up north in the northern shores of Minnesota. And so the question is whether I have a piece that goes way above here, or if I'm going to have enough material there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this right here, and I'm going to staple this side in right here so it's permanent. And then I have enough of the pond liner to hold the fish tank where it needs to be, and then we'll cut this piece right here second, and then we'll wrap this around and staple it back here, and we'll have our fish tank pond liner. I've let the sealant dry in the fish tank on the back panel and the front panel on the insides here. I just put a second coat on this bottom front side and on the sides here. And now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put some sealant around some of these places that I added staples, just in case there'd be any leakage when I water the trees of this pot. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dab there, dab there, dab there, and dab there, and just work it in a little bit. The silicone sticks to almost anything, from glass to wood to the rubber to metal. And now those staple holes are taken care of. So we'll come in here on this side. And one staple didn't even stay in very well. We're going to just take that one out. So this will assure that no water leaks underneath this piece of pond liner and touches the wood. I also am going to spray some Flex Seal on parts of this as well. But the sealant is nice and thick. So we're going to go ahead and do that anywhere there's a staple. So, a little dab will do ya. The next phase of the silicone is back here now. So, as you can see, I have the shiny stuff here that's making the glass connect to this bottom piece here. We'll be able to see through this first glass, even through the back glass when it's all completely finished. But I have to stretch this up here now. So that sits pretty good right there. It's a little high. So I have to make my final cuts and figure out where this is gonna go. So right here, I know I can cut this corner off. We're going to have some overlap. I have to figure out how I'm going to cut this so it's the least bulky. With every cut, I have to be careful that I don't cut it too much and go too far. Looks like this right here is about perfect. And this is wood right in here. So if I go ahead and staple this in a couple locations and then silicone it, we should be pretty good. And now we can put the first level of silicone on this bottom part. That's about all I can do for now. I slathered it on all thick on the sides and on the back here, down here where the staples were. Everything's all covered up. We'll probably do one more final sealant with this and get some of the nooks and crannies that might be weaker. We got some staple stuff up top, some on the sides. Everything is waterproof now in here, and we are good to let it dry for the rest of the night.
And we'll let this go. We can't put any water in here for 48 hours, but we'll do a test next in 48 hours and put water in here and see how it sits in here and see if there's any leaks. But that's all we can do for now, except for clean up our mess. This bonsai pot tank thing is really starting to come together. I've got the main pot made, I've got the 2 side pots made. We've sealed it up like crazy with plexi on the front and the back, sealed up all the little staple holes, and we've got some rocks on the front. We are really getting close to maybe, adding some bonsai soil eventually, maybe some water to the tank. Hey, in the next episode, we might just see if the seals are gonna hold. I can't wait for that one. So we'll get right to that one very, very quickly. Hey, that's going to do it for today. I got to get back to work so I can get more shows made for you, because there's a lot of people that are just apparently anxiously awaiting how this thing's going to turn out. Thank you so much for watching all the comments. This has been a lot of fun, getting some great feedback. So until next time, hey, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you very, very soon.